Good evening, subscribers and followers. This is Cash is back here today. Now, before we get started, just want to give you guys a quick rundown of my schedule, just so you know when to tune in. So midweek, all the videos that I do will mainly be sort of reaction videos, watching gameplay footage of games that aren't out yet or games that I can't get a hold of. And then on the weekends is when you will actually see me playing some games.
Finally!
And perhaps seeing some zombies chow down on me, because let's face it, pretty much every game I do now will be a zombie game, because I'm still on the search to find the best open world post-apocalyptic zombie game. But fear not, today's video is not about that. It has nothing to do with that. Well, it's still in the supernatural bracket, but today the game that I want to look at is just, I believe it's just released a few days ago. Now, this particular game, when I started looking into it, it seemed that, this game was going to be shelved. And when I say I was looking into it, I mean maybe mid last year when the game was probably announced. And there was some, I don't know, it was rumors, a lot of guys were scared that this, it was going to be shelved, that they weren't going to pick it up again because it went very quiet, and then come some gaming events, and they show trailers, and then they show gameplay footage, and all the fans are excited again, and so am I. So the game we will be looking over, now I'm going to try and say this on the first attempt because I never get it right, is Werewolf the Apocalypse Bloodhound? Werewolf the Earthblood Apocalypse?
Werewolf the Earthbound apocalyptic game of werewolves and something other than that. I don't know because I'm just going to fast forward this.
Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood. We finally got there. Now this is the game that I have been talking about. This is something as well I haven't really mentioned on my channel since I've started back up. Along with the obsession with zombies, I'm still a big fan. I am a big fan of finding great games where you have werewolves, where you can play as werewolves, where the story revolves around them. I think the last good game I played where you could be a werewolf was Skyrim, and that was a great game. It still is a great game, but there's only so much you can do in it, and there's only so much of that game you can take now, considering how old it is. So my hopes for this game are, they're very high. Some reviews have been, it's been a mixed bag. Some guys have loved it, some guys have hated it, but let's get into it and let's see what all the fuss is about. So I'm not going to do your typical first 15 minutes because there's so many videos on YouTube already of the first 15 minutes, so pretty sure you don't want to see that again. Spoiler alert as well, I have jumped into halfway through the game, I guess. So if you don't know much about this game, you have a group of werewolves who are environmentalists. Let's say they're basically out to stop an organization from destroying the environment, and that's what's going on right now. This pack of wolves are out there trying to take back their land. Also, you can switch between human, wolf, and werewolf. Of course, each different form has its own specific sort of abilities, let's say, its own reason for choosing that form. Like now, as a wolf, it's mainly built for stealth, so you can get around quietly, undetected. Again, same with the human form, you do exactly the same, but you're just a human. I do like the animation when he changes from man to wolf. It's like a leafy sort of effect. That's pretty cool. So this gameplay footage, as you can see, this person's been very very cautious, very careful. And I'm sure there's reasons for that. Maybe if he goes full on wolf, then some alarms will be set off and a whole bunch of bad guys will be after you, and then you'll have no chance of fighting back. But if this was me right now, I would just go all out werewolf and just take them all out. I mean, that's why you get this game, isn't it? That is cool. I like that. Here we go. Wolf's out of the bag. Oh wow. How did he absorb that? I like the music. The background music is very cool. I don't know if you guys can hear that in the clip, but it's very Devil May Cry. He is getting destroyed. Come on, man. Take him down.
Need more men.
That is some good music. So of course we can see that he does have some sort of special attacks as well. Right before the power up, he unleashes some sort of energy wave. Oh, what are they? It's like they have two horns on top of their heads. Interesting. What on earth are they? They look pretty notorious to kill. Wave 2 done. Ah, robots. Robots. One thing I really don't like about games like this or similar to this, I mean, the Avengers were, you know, guilty of doing this. One of the many reasons that was a great game. When you have games like this, I think when you give them robotic enemies, I just find it so lazy. I think there's no creativity, there's no imagination. It's like the developers are saying, oh, let's just fill some gaps, let's just throw some robots in there.
Ava,
I do not like
cleared
that.
out the outpost and connected you to the network.
Good. I'll try to take control of Intern HQ's surveillance system. I've learned more about the Earthblood protocol. The stuff they're injecting into their soldiers acts directly on their immune system.
There we go, an answer.
The experiment they've been conducting had to do with the protocol too.
That's why they were just absorbing all his attacks. Yeah, going back to robotic enemies, I think that's just such a lazy way to... Unless the main villain in a game is robotic, I mean, you know, if it's an Ultron, then yeah, go ahead, do it. But in a game like this, and just other games as well I can think of at the top of my head, there's just no need to drop random robots in there. Just keep it real, man. Keep it cool.
Thinking? Hostile inside. Take it out.
Again, robots.
What are you talking about?
The goddamn robots, John!
Why? What's the need for robots? Oh, that was neat. Another thing about this game, a lot of early reviews and comments are saying that the gameplay isn't great. They're saying it's very button bashy, which I can imagine it would be button bashy. You know, you're controlling the creature you're controlling the mythical creature. It's a werewolf. You know, a werewolf isn't calculated. A werewolf is dangerous. A werewolf's mindless. It's crazy. You know, they're not going to be strategic about their attacks. So I don't really see that as a valid complaint. Wow, so these must be the soldiers that were injected with the serum. The super soldier serum. How did he just come back to life? More robots. More robots. You know, when you play a game with mythical beasts and creatures like this, you know, I think when you include robotic enemies like we just saw there, I think it just takes away from the feeling of that sort of supernatural essence. I mean, this game is
I'm almost through their defenses.
it's a game about the supernatural. You know, it's werewolves.
Seems like our attacks on their outposts haven't gone unnoticed. They're gonna bulk up their defenses.
My bad. I have the attention of a squirrel. Attention span of a squirrel, that is. But yeah, robots, man. Robots need to stop. Going back to my point, the robots in a game where there's supernatural beings, for me, it doesn't work. I mean, I understand why there's robots in it, because it's a corporate business company that wants to take down the environment, so there's going to be a big machinery and whatnot, but still, no, I don't approve of the I don't approve of the damn robots, man.
Fire in the hole!
I should also mention as well, when you're in the werewolf transformation, you have, I think it's 3 different fighting styles. You have one that's very much like a brawler, where you just go full on assault, and, you know, you're super strong, but your attacks are sort of slow. And then you have another mode which I don't. This is it. This is the other mode he's in. So as you can see, he gets this sort of aura around him, and his strikes are a lot quicker and sharper, but they're not as strong. Which is good. I like that. It gives you, you know, different ways to play, which is good. You know, gives you options. impressive. I do like the chaos. It sort of reminds me of. It reminds me a bit of Prototype, you know, where you get the waves of enemies just popping out of the
So I
building,
should have access to the HQ's camera network.
and then you just see aggressive action, the blood, the
I've
gore.
managed to
It's
stop
very
the oil
Prototype-like, and that was a
Their
great game.
machines have all gone quiet. I just wish I could.
I think another criticism I have about this game, I mean, again, you know, I understand the story. It's a bunch of wolves. They want to take back what's theirs. You know, they want to take back from the government, the corporation that are stealing their land. No, just like real life, you know, you have animals out there that are trying to fight for their land every day, but they obviously can't turn into werewolves. And again, going back to my point,
Control of the outposts, and Ava stopped their
let's just listen to this first.
They're not pumping oil anymore, that's for sure. Now there's just the HQ left.
I'll
Nice.
take care of it. Alone.
I get it. Good luck.
One-man army.
Ava,
Going back to my
I'm at the
point,
gate to their HQ's maintenance
I think
zone.
for me, a game like this to work, it needs to be, you know, dark forests, you know, badly lit streets, you know, like Vampire. That was a great game. I think it was set in old London. You know, it was dark, it was gloomy. It was a creepy game. It was good, but it was creepy. I think what developers need to do that have an interest in werewolf games is build it around the same sort of, you know, build it around the same sort of
This report was
foundations.
printed
Use the same
shortly
base.
after I reunited with Adana.
I think if I was a developer and I wanted to make a great werewolf game, I would use Vampire as my foundations to make a great werewolf game, because you know you have canals, you have rivers, you have cities, and like I said, it's dark, it's gloomy, it fits really well, and I think someone needs to take the responsibility now and make you know, a really good werewolf game, because we haven't got one. And from my early impressions, I don't think, I hate to say it, but I don't think this is going to be the game to satisfy us werewolf fans' thirst for a good game. Again, going back to Skyrim, to play a game where we get to be a werewolf and use its amazing abilities, we have to go back to Skyrim. And not like that's a bad thing, you know, I mean, Skyrim's a great game and it always will be, but you know, we need to move on with the times. We need to experiment, and I think if someone really gave it attention, really good attention, they could make an amazing werewolf game, you know. And again, it should be set in a similar setting as Vampire, but of course the city would need to be probably double the size, because you're a werewolf and they can travel at ridiculous speeds. But it's you know, it's an idea that someone should pick up, because I think there's a lot of room, there's a lot of great ideas floating about this, you know, the whole werewolf being in games scenario. And don't get me wrong, I admire these guys for what they've tried, you know, they've given it a shot. You know, like I said, this idea was almost shelved twice, I believe it was, and they've come back, you know, they haven't given up, so fair play to them. But could be better. So, overall thoughts of what I've seen, or what we've seen together. Again, I didn't watch the first 15 minutes of it because it doesn't really give you a breakdown of anything. You just see a bit of footage, a bit of cinematic intros, and that's that. So I got stuck right in there, found some gameplay footage towards the middle of the game, and I'm glad I did, because it gave me an idea as to how it feels and how it plays. And I think for me, the biggest drawdown of this game is that, you know, it's a merger of the supernatural with real life events, and that should have been the premise for something amazing, because like I said, you know, it's happening out there. You know, people are destroying forestry and lands, and animals have nowhere to go, and they've brought that idea into this game, because if animals could, I'm sure they'd try and stop it from happening. Again, and you know, they've brought that premise into this game, but I don't think it's been executed right. Of course, I mean, I haven't played it yet, but I can normally tell how good a game is going to be by just watching it, and a lot of you guys can as well, because you know, we're gamers. This is what we do, this is what we know. And for me, the way they've brought this game together, I mean, I hope there's something in this game that justifies what they've done. I hope there's something in this game that I haven't seen yet that makes me go, wow, you know what, fair play to them, they've done a great job. I really hope this is one of those games. But from my, you know, first impressions, it doesn't seem like it's going to be. But you know, we can only hope. We can only hope. I think there are, you know, some great developers out there that can pick up the idea of having a werewolf game and making it something great. You know, I think Ubisoft could do a great job of it. I mean, they haven't really done anything of the supernatural, as far as I know, but I think they can do a great job with it. You know, there's so many other developers out there that I don't need to name, because you guys can probably list more than me. But if you're going to do a game with such an iconic mythical creature, it needs to be done right. You know, the werewolf needs to be done justice. I mean, look how many vampire games we have had. We've had some great ones, we've had some awful ones, but you know, the ones that have been good have been really good. I mean, Vampire was an amazing game, and I might keep using that as an example, because it was just perfect. I can't think of anything wrong with that game. Everything from the gameplay to the setting to how it made you feel playing it was superb. And when you think of a game that involves a werewolf, for me, I think a game needs to be created in the sort of essence of an American Werewolf in London, you know, where you start off in the countrysides, you're out back and you're told not to go to a certain area, and then you get attacked, and then, you know, you go back home into the big city where you're let loose to just cause chaos. You know, these are the sort of ideas and games that we need from anyone that has the thought of bringing werewolves, you know, to our consoles. Thank you again, guys, for coming back to This Is Cash to watch my midweek video. Let me know your thoughts about this game. If you've played it, please do drop some comments in below and let me know how it plays, and let me know what you think of it, because I don't know, if reviews keep coming out negative, I don't think I'm going to waste my money, but I do really want to give it a shot, and hopefully some of you guys can persuade me to do that. Make sure you like, comment, of course, and subscribe, because on the weekend, like I said earlier, there will be some gaming footage. And now, you know, a lot of you guys respond really well to my State of Decay video, so I most likely will be doing another video of State of Decay 2, but I do have something else in mind. I might plan it for this weekend, I might do for next weekend. You'll have to subscribe to find out. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the weekend. Take care, guys.